happy readers! It's Shed Time Stories with me, Issy. Are you ready to share a new story? I have chosen a story of kindness to share. The title is Azalea. If you have this book at home, you can read along with me. The author, the person who has written this story, is Ashanti Reese. Now we're going to meet Azalea, a beautiful flower, and she's going to show us just what happens when a little kindness is spread. Shall we read and find out? Once there was a flower whose name was Azalea. She had 5 beautiful petals. She lived in a garden with other flowers who also had 5 beautiful petals, and she was happy. One day, Azalea was transferred to a different garden. These flowers only had 4 or less petals. One flower even had no petals at all, and he was very mean. "Go away, we don't want you here," said the petalless flower, and he pushed Azalea to the ground. This made Azalea sad. She thought about pushing him back. Instead, she said, "I'm sorry you feel that way, but this garden is where I was placed, so this garden is where I shall stay." Suddenly, the petalless flower grew one beautiful petal. Seeing his new petal made him happier. He left Azalea alone and walked away. The next morning, the flowers were all in a line, each waiting to enjoy the water that sprinkled down from above. When it was Azalea's turn to be delightfully showered, the 2-petaled flower behind her jumped in front and took her place in line. This made Azalea angry. She thought about yanking him out of her way and getting her spot in the line back. Instead, she said, "You must be extremely thirsty. I am happy to exchange places in line with you so that you can get the water you need." Suddenly, the 2-petaled flower realized it now had 3 petals. This made him happy. He turned around to Azalea and apologized for cutting in front of her. Later in the day, a 4-petaled flower spotted Azalea allowing a caterpillar to feed off her leaves. In Azalea's old garden, they always fed the caterpillars and other insects because these insects needed food from their leaves to survive. In the new garden, however, the flowers would smack the insects away with their leaves and petals to keep them off. Azalea once thought about joining the other flowers by smacking away the insects. After all, they were pests. Instead, she decided that feeding them was the right thing to do. When the 4-petaled flower saw Azalea's smile as she fed the caterpillar, it made her want to do the same. So she stood tall and spread her petals, inviting insects to come forth. After feeding a couple of white flies, the 4-petaled flower grew its final petal. She was very happy. She decided she would never smack at an insect again. As the days went by, Azalea noticed that the new garden was starting to look a lot like her old garden. The flowers were all starting to have more beautiful petals, and they were much nicer than before. This made Azalea very happy. The next morning, Azalea was transferred back to her old garden. An old wise flower was very pleased to see her. Azalea told the old flower all about the other garden. When I first got to the new garden, they were not very nice to me at all. But after a while, they all began to change. They are so much kinder and more beautiful. I don't know what happened. The old flower smiled and responded, "You happened." Azalea didn't understand, so the wise flower continued. Love and kindness is passed on from one flower to the next. So if a flower is unkind, it means they are not receiving enough love and kindness. You can help an unkind flower gain its petals by being good to them, even when it may be difficult. That is what you have done in that other garden, and you have done a great thing, said the old wise flower. Now Azalea was happier than ever before. The end. What a beautiful story, and what a wonderfully kind flower Azalea was. When those other flowers were mean to her, she wasn't mean back. She showed them kindness, and that helps them to be a better flower. I hope you've enjoyed this Shed Time story, and if you want to, you can like, share, follow and subscribe to Shed Time Stories. Then you'll be ready for the next book we can share together. Bye-bye!